Don Gordon from Gordon-Fiano, a framing contractor, and I'll talk about him a little later. But while he's starting to put a wall together, which all buildings have walls, then I'll introduce some of the other ones. Over here, I've got Jorge Roa, and he's a drywall installer. Then I have Isaac Catalan, and he's a laborer. And as you watch the laborer work, you're saying, what the heck is he doing? But you'll see he's keeping the place really clean, because that's safety for us. It's very important to work on a clean working place. Then I've got Ethan Waterfall, electrician. And just to let you know that this is really the start of your life, Ethan is a graduate of Cuesta. So don't ever think that this is a dead end. Okay? And then last, I got Paul, not least, but last, Paul Rodriguez. And Paul, why don't you come up for 1 second right here. Now, this man grew up in East LA. You think you're in the bad spot. Listen to his story for a second.
Hi, my name is Paul Rodriguez. Like you said, I grew up in East Los Angeles. Single parent home. You know, the odds were really against me. My dad was a gang member and a heroin addict, which is presently serving life in prison. So, you know, I remember as a young kid feeling different, doing very well in school. School was very hard for me. You know, started getting in trouble. Ended up in jail. You know, I remember the last time I seen the judge, he said he didn't want to see me back. If he did, I was going to do penitentiary time. And you know, at that time I had just met my father. He had got out of prison after doing several years. And I just really didn't understand his decisions and why he chose what he chose over his family. And you know, but as I went on and got older, I dropped out of high school and started getting into really bad trouble. My grandmother, she was on her deathbed, and she told me she knew a place where she had some friends and I could probably start over and I might have a chance. And it was here, Santa Barbara. I came up here when I was 21 years old, and by just coincidence I met a guy and I started working as a laborer on the job. The plumber seen my hustle and how much I worked, and offered me a job. That was 20 years ago. Little by little, you know, I started learning more and more, and started loving it. The creative part of it, troubleshooting, everything I didn't think I liked, you know.
Okay, I gotta stop him because he's gotta go to work. He's gotta go to work. Yeah. But there's a little story. There's a lot of places for you guys still to go. Okay, what you're going to see now, you saw the framer, Don Gordon from Gordon-Fiano, and he put a wall together. Almost any building you see here, the walls are either made out of wood, steel, masonry, or concrete. This happens to be a wood wall. Now, normally in a wood wall, we put electrical. These are called electrical boxes being installed by Ethan. And we put plumbing. And so when you get all through, you'll be able to see, it'll all get covered, but you'll see what goes inside of a wall. So I'll tell you a little bit about the construction craft involved. A lot of times when you talk construction, people see it as one job. There's probably 20 or 30 individual trades in the construction industry. And represented here again are about 4 or 5. We've got carpenters, we've got drywall hangers, we've got laborers, we've got plumbers, and we've got electrical. What we don't have is acoustic installers, painters, plasterers, drywall tapers, and I could go on and on and on. There's a lot of opportunity. And you don't necessarily have to choose one of these right now. You can choose just to go to work in the construction industry, and then you can start specializing where you want to go. So, an important thing for you to realize is these jobs don't get outsourced. When your plumbing doesn't work in your house, you don't call China like you do if your computer doesn't work. You call a local plumber, and he comes and fixes it. So you can live and stay living right here in this area if you go into construction trades, because the jobs are right here. Some jobs that do get outsourced are office work, computer work, architectural and structural drafting, banking, manufacturing, not construction. Carpenters, for example, do a lot of types of work. It's not just framing. They also do soft demolition. They set concrete forms. They frame wood and metal buildings. Drywall hangers are carpenters. Acoustical installation installers are carpenters. Insulation installers are carpenters. And finished carpentry, and Doug there is a finished carpenter. They do cabinets, trim work, and fancy woodwork, like if you've ever seen a really beautiful stairway that comes down in a circle, there's the guy to go talk to. He can do that for you. He's really good.
Yeah, I started out doing furniture and cabinets, and the reason that I got into that was I fooled around with something and built something, and somebody said, "Wow, that looks cool." And I can't tell you how that felt. It felt so good to have somebody compliment me about something I did. It became a great sense of pride. And if you heard what Paul had mentioned, one of the big things that you get in the trade is every day, you walk away and are able to look at something you've accomplished. And that is, it's almost indescribable feeling to know that you've accomplished something, you've done something right and well.
So most people don't get to see their work. They do whatever they do in an office or a bank or wherever, but they don't get to see their finished product. We all get to see our finished product. When Ethan gets all done, we're going to throw a switch here. He's going to put a tester into the plug and to see if the plugs work, and he's going to turn a light on right here. When Paul gets all done, all this copper he's installing right here, he's going to solder it together. He's going to hook it up to water, and he's going to turn the faucet on, and it's going to have water coming out. Now, that's a great sense of satisfaction for anybody. Okay, now, if you go into construction trade, and it doesn't matter what trade, you have an opportunity to become a superintendent. And your opportunity of making wages go way up, and they get well paid. And then also, you have an opportunity to start your own business. And, well, Doug said he wanted you guys to guess, but you guys are not necessarily good at asking questions, so I'm going to force you now. What does those numbers mean? Anybody?
I was going to ask that question.
Huh?
I was going to ask that question earlier.
You are? Okay.
Ask it.
The question is ask it.
What's the numbers?
All right. For a drywall worker, this is your starting salary. And that's what you can expect to make when you're an accomplished journeyman.
So that's per hour, $10 per hour, $28 per hour.
A laborer can start at $10 and end up at $18. A carpenter can start at $9 and end up at $39. A plumber, $15 and $35. $15 and $30, and I think Ethan was wrong.
He undersold himself.
That should have been
there.
closer to $40.
That's what his boss told him.
So,